Good day, good people. Relevant Thoughts blog is back. Yes, I'm your guy, Lewis to the T, and as always, I'm excited to be back here with you. Today is Wednesday, May 4th, 2022, and I am starting a new series entitled Wellness Wednesday. So we are going to talk about wellness and different aspects of wellness. We want to talk about spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical wellness. How can we become more cognizant of how we are in the different areas of our lives? We know that our spirit, our emotion, our mental, our physical beings are all different entities. I'm starting off today with our spiritual wellness. I believe this is the point at which all the other three merge and make us who we are as people. So I'm just going to jump right in. So I want to talk today about spiritual wellness. April for me this year has been a particularly difficult month. Speaking of wellness and spiritual wellness, there has been a lot of death surrounding my friends and myself, whether it was recent, like the passing of a classmate, and something that impacts a lot of people that I know, or it could be the grief and the mourning over loved ones who have passed some years ago. Like in my case, my mom passed in the month of April. One of my closest friends, her mom actually passed on the same day as mine, years prior. Looking at the news and looking at different celebrities and just people in general, this month has just seemingly been filled with a lot of grief and just reminders of death and the fact that we all are on borrowed time. We have an expiration date, so to speak, and not to be harsh about it, but the death part is taken care of. We know that that's going to happen without our permission. It is inevitable, but it's the living part that we have to be concerned about. And that is what I want to talk about in regard to our spiritual wellness. How are we with the life that we're living? For me, and I think it may be a little bit different depending on who you talk to, the spiritual aspect of who I am is both internal and external. I believe that there is an external spiritual force that leads and guides and looks over my life. And I look at that force as God. People call what I call God different things in different languages and different religions. And people who have no particular religion at all tend to have an external force that they look to. But it's also an internal force. And I believe that is where the two connect. That internal force inside of me that brings together my physical, mental, and emotional being, for me, is the spirit. And in order for that spirit to be well, I have to be cognizant of where I am in my life. Not just the happy and the sadness. Those things are very temporary. They pass, they don't last. What I've always been taught and what I believe is that the joy of it all is forever. It is the working together for the good of it all that matters to me. Recognizing that I will go through good days and bad days, up and down periods, but looking at all of those things as one unit, looking at all of those things as leading to the same place. That is the thing I focus on in regard to my spiritual wellness. When I'm able to look at those things and know that in the end it's for my good, to know that the things that I feel, even if they are painful, work out for my betterment. That is how I measure my spiritual wellness. Do I recognize that those things will eventually work out for my good, or am I struggling with the fact that those things will work out for my good? That is how I know how I'm doing spiritually. And if I'm off kilter, if I'm not in a place where I wanted to be spiritually, for me, I turn to prayer, I turn to meditation, I read the Word of God, I listen to people who understand spirituality outside the bounds of religion. And I make sure that I'm just intaking as much as possible positive, high vibrational, good understanding of what it all means to be in this life. So that is my advice to anyone who is checking on their spiritual health, their spiritual wellness. How are you with what it all means in the end? How are you with where you are right now spiritually? how connected do you feel to the world around you? And if you're struggling in those areas, you might want to make sure that your input, the things that you're listening to, the things that you're hearing, the things that you're reading, the things that you're seeing, that all of these things feed goodness and wholeness and speak wellness and truth into your spirit until you do feel better about your circumstance. And always feel free to reach out to a friend or a family member, or even a professional. I know that oftentimes when we think about therapy, we only think about it from the aspect of mental health, but I do believe that there are people who can counsel you and help you and uplift you in regard to your spiritual wellness, and we have to be mindful of who those people are. Don't be afraid to ask for resources. There's always somebody around you, somebody in your atmosphere who you can look to, who you feel has a strong sense of spirituality. And maybe you could talk to them and tap into what their resource is in order to help you. So this is the first of a series of videos I'm going to do over the next month entitled Wellness Wednesday. And I hope you guys will stay tuned. Give me your feedback, write, your comments below. Make sure that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, and I will see you shortly. You'll find this video on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and just a little snippet on Twitter because, hey, that's their rule. Talk to you soon.